this lady a year ago, I guarantee you, was bashing Bush, saying end it now. Now, since Obama's saying we got to keep him in there for a few more years, listen to her. Go back to her.
Yeah, we're talking to her right now. We're trying to explain that Obama is for a surge in Afghanistan. He's going to take the troops from Iraq and send them to Afghanistan. I mean, that's not ending war, is it?
Luke, ask her. Luke, ask her this question, Luke. Luke.
And I'm definitely against war.
Luke, give her the phone. I want to talk to her. Give her the phone.
Go ahead.
Who am I speaking with?
Alex Jones.
Hello, Alex Jones.
Hi, ma'am. How you doing? Listen, we're not Bush supporters. We're not Republicans. We know that Obama has the same advisors and is going to betray everybody. Remember, he said he was going to pull the troops out. Let me just finish. Now he's saying he's not going to. He said he wouldn't have wiretaps against the American people without warrants. Now he's saying he's going ahead. He said he was going to get rid of the Patriot Act. Now he's saying he's not going to do that. All we're saying is that you are, here's my question, and then I'll let you answer it. You are saying that if we pull all the troops out, more will get killed, more troops. The troops can't be killed if they're pulled out of Iraq, and all the major governmental studies admit that if the troops are pulled out, there'll be less deaths on all sides.
But strategically, he has to pull the troops out. And we cannot abandon, and I'm a person against war. And it's funny because all my family is military, and we have arguments at our table all the time. But I truly understand that we just can't go in and say, okay, we're pulling all these troops out, and we leave the people in Iraq.
Ma'am, they've built 30-plus permanent giant bases that hold 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000, one case 6,000 people apiece. They're never leaving. The Pentagon says that we're going to have troops there in 20 years. You've been deceived.
Oh, no. Now, I guess you don't understand my argument, because when he was talking about how he was going to pull the troops out, I was one of the first people who ever say where I live at, he can't do that. And he's going to have troops in longer than what he expects to have them in. But what I'm saying is that the American people have to wise up themselves and realize we just can't, you're beeping, somebody's beeping here. We just can't pull those troops out the way he says he will. And American people are blind to the it will not happen.
Ma'am, I have one other question for you, and I'm going to let you go. So we got Congressman Ron Paul coming up. Go ahead and get him online, John, in Minnesota. And it's this. You've heard about his national compulsory service, 18 to 24. Do you support forced national compulsory service?
Okay. I've heard briefly about that, yes.
Do you support that?
No.
Okay. Do you support that Obama spearheaded the banker takeover that's now $8.5 trillion and it's secret and they won't say where it is? Just like Bush supported it, Obama says we have to have another banker bailout. Do you support that?
No, I'm not into bailout at all.
So what is it you support? What is it, ma'am, you support about Barack Obama?
I am torn between supporting him, to be honest with you, and my family is a family full of Democrats. So I'm torn between supporting him and any political party at this point in time, because I think the American people with both parties have been deceived. And we as Americans have to open up our eyes and decide what we're going to do for our country.
Ma'am, listen, Obama is a corporate-created foundation front man. He is going to betray you. Don't sign on like the Germans did or the Russians did to Stalin and then sign on to all his evil, like conservatives signed on to Bush, and then the torture, the secret arrest, the wars. Don't be conned. God bless you. Luke Rudkowski on the ground in Washington, D.C., surrounded by regular Army troops and National Guard, searching everyone. We'll talk to you coming up in the next hour. Luke Rudkowski, thanks for reporting for Infowars.com from the streets of D.C. Okay.
All right, thank you so much. I'm here doing everything live, talking to people. We're going to be talking to more people. We're going to be talking to people as long as the battery dies.
Okay, Luke, we got to jump. Again, they're streaming live at prisonplanet.tv with a video feed from there on the ground. Now, without further ado, Congressman Ron Paul, for the next 20 minutes, joins us. Congressman, the 44th president, with messianic media coverage. I mean, is this good in history? We've never seen this in American history, to have someone being worshipped and the media saying, get behind him, do whatever he says, and then Obama says another banker bailout, a new bank of the U.S. that's private, youth brigades. He's formed USAservice.org, a private army for himself to go out and ensure his policies, literally out of Mao's playbook. Congressman.
Well, no, I don't think it's a good idea at all, and he can fool a lot of people. But, you know, I was watching the speech that he gave on the business station. It was interesting. He wasn't reassuring the markets. I mean, gold is up sharply and the Dow Jones is down sharply. So if he really was reassuring us that he was going to take care of us, I think the markets would have acted differently. But a lot of people are fooled, and a lot of people are expecting a whole lot and think that he is going to be a savior. But I think it will be short-lived.
Congressman, as you know, they've introduced a new bill to give dictatorial power to the Attorney General to where he can ban any semi-automatic or any, quote, rifles that could have a military use, most rifles and shotguns and handguns. That has been introduced. They're introducing a bill to nationally register all firearms. I mean, out of the gates, he's saying he's going to call for a carbon tax and declare CO2 a toxic waste. We thought Bush tripling the size of government was bad. What are we facing, sir? And what are the biggest threats right now from the new Obama administration that just launched?
Well, he'll make it grow much faster if the whole system hangs together for that long. But the big question is whether there's going to be a collapse of the dollar, and all bets are off on what will transpire then. But no, if we go along with the system held together relatively so, I mean, he's going to massively increase the government. I think there'll be national youth service and also possibility of a military draft. I think there'll be expansion of operations overseas. And the only way they know how to play for any of this is printing more money. That's why it's a contest. How long can this go on by massively expanding the size of government and undermining the value of the dollar before people give up on the dollar? So it'll be interesting to see what's happened. I find it fascinating. Tragically, though, it's so dangerous that you can't really sit back and relax about it. We all have to prepare for what's going on.
We're talking to Congressman Ron Paul from Texas, and he joins us for the balance of the hour. Congressman, specifically, let's talk about solutions, then get into more of the threats. Obama, Biden, the pundits, they all admit that he'll have about 150, 200 days. He's saying he's going to have a blitzkrieg of gun control legislation, illegal alien amnesty, carbon taxes, new federal agencies, new wars, record defense budgets. And they're saying that they know that things are going to be so bad in the economy. They're saying this in speeches. They're saying it's going to get painful. It's going to be austerity. You know, get ready. We've got to give trillions a week to the bankers. How important is it now to resist this agenda and point it out and organize the huge Ron Paul liberty movement that Obama mimicked successfully with a false organic movement? How important is it, and how do we mobilize, and what are the key things to fight in the first 200 days if we're going to save this republic? Because you've always talked about that coming crisis when the world government imploded the economy by design so they could rebuild it with even greater control, that we could use that key window to reverse it and bring in the culture of liberty.
Well, we have to continue to do exactly what we're doing, trying to win people over to our side, spread the message, get the attention of Washington best we can. Now, the one way we could look at this in a positive way is those Republicans who wimped along and did everything George Bush told them to do are now resistors. So we have more resistance there. We're going to hear more noise in Washington against Obama than we ever heard against George Bush, because the Democrats loved George Bush and the Republicans wouldn't say boo. At least we'll have a little bit of that. But the problem is in 100 days or 200 days, I mean, we do our best, but we can't really expect to reverse this tide, because he's assuming that he has this mandate and he's going to march forward. And how we act when an acute monetary crisis hits is something that has to be determined then. But in the meantime, people have acted in their own best interest. It didn't take individuals very long to figure out that there would be more controls on guns. All of a sudden, gun sales soared and prices of guns soared. Ammunition, they're afraid the ammunition will be taken away or registered, and those prices have soared. People learn how to make their own ammunition. So all kinds of things automatically happen. I don't think you have to have one group or one person tell everybody what they have to do. My goal has always been to get information out there and try to counteract these socialistic, totalitarian ideas with the ideas of freedom.
Sir, specifically, you're on the House Banking Committee. Bloomberg and AP report 5 weeks ago, the last time we saw numbers, that it was $1.3 trillion a week disappearing, and the Federal Reserve will not tell Congress or anywhere else where the money has gone. Now they're saying they need $1 trillion more to, quote, unfreeze these toxic derivatives, these instruments. Can you specifically speak, because now Newsweek has the headline, "A world government run by a world bank." The very people that engineered the crisis are now openly proposing a world government run by the very private central banks that have hijacked our economy and are looting us in a financial coup.